You know, there are so many different areas of mental health that people deal with, and having the right people to work with those is very important. Well, today on the show we have from Anchored Hearts Community Resources, Ann Cho.
Hi.
And Liz Hoop. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Good to be here.
Well, if you would, let's start with you, Ann, because tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do.
Well, basically, I am an RN. I have used to teach psychiatric nursing in an RN program. I have also worked with geriatric mentally ill and various different types of mentally ill. When I retired, I decided to assist people in filling in gaps in the healthcare system. Mm-hmm. So basically, I've taken 30 years of experience and put into the company.
Oh, okay. Liz, how about you?
Well, Jim, I've been involved in healthcare for several years. I have a heart for helping other people. That's what drew me to Anchored Hearts, knowing what the mission of the organization is, and having also being involved with the Mental Health Association for the last, I've been there for about 5-6 years now, mm-hmm. On their board of directors in various capacities. And I just believe there's a lot of people out there that don't understand mental health. And, you know, so I think what our education is to do is to educate people on what it is to have a mental illness, and it's not always what they think. You know,
it's misconstrued in so many different ways.
Very much so, yes.
It really is. I mean, I was looking here at the different clients that y'all have assisted in the past, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, if I may read the list: human trafficking survivors,
Yes.
Domestic violence survivors, elderly and their families, organ transplant patients.
Yes.
Wow. Developmentally delayed, homeless, veterans, disabled, mental illness, elderly, and children. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a wide spectrum of different people to work with.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, when you're dealing with mental illness, people have a misconception that it's taboo to have a mental illness, but it's not taboo to have a physical ailment. And to expect to go through life and not experience a mental health episode or problem, I think is unrealistic. I think at some point we all go into depression, have a trauma, we have too many things on us, which can cause mental illness, but it doesn't have to be permanent either. There's so much about it people don't know. And I compare it to physical health. It's going to happen to all of us eventually.
You know, there one case that just shocked the world, someone that always seemed like they were just high on life and just loved life and made people laugh, was Robin Williams, mm-hmm. the comedian.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, to not know that he had the issues that he did and such a tragic ending to his life, because he made everybody laugh. Everybody thought he was the happiest man in the world.
Suicide is very high because people try to hide it, and then they don't know where to go to get help. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes the mental illness can be very complex, and many patients have multiple providers, but they don't know what each other are doing. And that's where patient advocates come in who work for Anchored Hearts Community Resources. We gather those resources and we help the client navigate the whole system.
And that's one of the big things. I mean, I was reading through your notes here earlier, and mm-hmm. All the stuff that patient advocates do in helping people, you know, get help.
Right.
I mean,
that's what we do.
That's the whole main thing. And I'm going to show you this chart. Of course, I don't know if you can zoom into it or not, but it is it's wild that all the different areas that you have. Let me turn it over to this camera here, but I mean, it looks like a spider web.
It is, and those are all the different healthcare components and agencies, both for-profit, nonprofit, that are attempting to assist the client. The other component of this is, while the client is compromised with mental health, they don't realize that all these providers don't talk directly to each other. And mm-hmm. that's where we come in to make sure all the people helping them are communicating with each other. And that's one of Liz's major roles as our outreach director with the various providers to make them aware of what we do.
How do you work with them? How do you contact them?
Basically, I network a lot, and I do. I basically will walk into a healthcare provider and set up a time with them that we can discuss what our services are, what we can do. I also work with the community, with other resources that are out there, other services that are. They're not competitors of ours, they're complementers of ours. So in other words, it's a service that our clients need and that they have. So we do a lot of collaboration when it comes to helping a client. And a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it's going out into the community and educating the providers and working with like the senior centers, working with churches in the area, working with other organizations like United Way, and educating them on what our services are and how we can help their clients.
And one of the areas that we do when we get a client, let's say they're trying to get insurance and they have a mental health issue, they might need medication, so we refer them to that organization where their mental health provider isn't aware of it. So we kind of pull all these resources together and make each other aware and the client.
You know, I was reading some of the, they how assist you to find and receive needed healthcare services, including food and shelter.
Yes.
Of course, you had mentioned
Providers.
Medication payment assistance, healthcare insurance specialists, as you mentioned, and attorney referrals.
Yes.
When appropriate.
Yes. Many mental health people end up incarcerated instead of getting the help they need.
And that's a shame.
Yes.
It really is. It really. Fortunately, we have people, organizations like Anchored Hearts that are able to assist these people, point them in the right direction, and get the proper help that they need with the proper organizations.
Right. That's what we do.
Okay, wonderful. We got a little less than a minute left. Is anything else that you want to add about the Anchored Heart? I know you're based, as you can see on the screen, that they're based in Pascagoula, but what area do you cover?
We cover all of Mississippi, and
wow.
I've helped people in Jackson, I've helped people in Hattiesburg, all over, and we go into any facility or agency to assist in any way. And we don't try to take over services, we make them aware of what this client's receiving and what they need.
Okay.
And one thing that's different too is the fact that we stay with the client in helping them. In other words, we walk them through everything they need to do. Basically, we hold their hand and we stay in touch at all times. A client really never leaves us because they always come back.
I hate to cut you off, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. If you need some help from Anchored Hearts, the number's on your screen. They're located in Pascagoula.